everyone. This is going to be a quickie. You want a quickie? Okay. I am going to be traveling soon, okay? And I've got a project going on, and I haven't done a video in 2 days, and I know that a lot of you are going to go, "Are you okay, Lee?" And I love that you guys are so concerned about me, and it's nice to have people watching out for me. It really is. Even my voice is cracky. Well, I wanted to get this out so that you know I'm okay and let you know what's going on. Okay, so I've got a project going on. I've just got my computer out here, and what I'm doing is I'm working on a second edition of one of my thrillers. So, there'll be a new cover. I even think it's going to be a new title on it. But I will label it such that you'll know that it's the same one in case you already bought it. But I did a couple of changes on it that needed to be done, okay? Okay. So I've got these projects going on, and I've been busy, and I'm getting ready to travel. So you'll see me in new environment in about 2-3 days. Okay. But I do have two really good questions here, and so I want to address that. And let me just say, I'm not going to edit this at all. There's going to be no music. There's going to be no intro, outro, anything like that. Because I just want to get it up, and I want to get back to my book before. I want to get this proofread before I actually do leave. So with that said, watch it all the way through. Subscribe. Leave me a comment. Yes. Send me some love, okay? Look like my lighting went down just a little bit. Let me go. Is that better? Okay. Okay, so let's get on to this. This is from Lone Star Lisa. Lee, I live in Texas and considering this lifestyle, but it's hot here. How do you keep your vehicle cooled inside overnight? Yes. It can be a thing. I will tell you, if I was in Tucson, I don't even know. Maybe it's just as hot in Texas as in Tucson. I've never really checked on it, but it's hot. It doesn't really cool down much at night. So that's one of the reasons, I guess, how do I stay cool at night, is I make sure that I'm not in a really hot environment. I mean, that's location, location, location. And as van dwellers, as nomads, we can move wherever we want to go. That's why we have home on wheels, okay? But I will tell you how the last couple nights it has been warm even up here in higher elevation. So what I do is, if you haven't seen it yet, look down below. It's just a couple days ago. I did, I'm going to pull out my bed. It's about my bed. I think the word bed is on in the video. Okay. So I pull out my bed, and it is right here. I have a very comfortable, a really nice one, a cotton sheet. I think I got it a long time ago from Target. It was nice. It's very soft. It's not microfiber. It's just very soft. So that really helps if you have a nice piece of material that you're laying on that's on your skin. So I have my bed pulled out here. Okay. I have my fan over here. So yeah, I mean, I've got it on right now. It's on low, but it is here, and I have it there. And what I do, I just make sure that it hits my bed, okay? Let me put this right here. There we go, yeah. Pretty soon I'm going to have to turn that on medium, not just low. Okay, you can probably hear it now. So I've got that going on. Now, I've also got my chill pads. This is special material. I've showed them many times. They're just called chill pads. Yeah. This is a chill pad brand. what you do, there's still a little damp, so it's pliable. But once it gets hard, like this part is like almost cardboard, you dunk it in water. I have my collapsible bucket. I dunk it in water, wring it out, and I lay here before I fall asleep. And I have my pillows here up, and I can scroll. We scroll at night, right? We might check on the news, things like that, because I'm usually busy during the day. So at night, like before I go to bed, they say don't get on your phone, but that doesn't bother me. I get on my phone because that's my time when I can kind of like catch up on what's going on in the world. Yeah. And maybe talk to a couple online friends, things like that. But I have this wet. And with the fan going, I kind of lay it on my legs. You know, I usually sleep in my underwear with a little shirt on, sleeveless shirt. And I just lay this across my legs, maybe my knees or something. It cools my whole body down. You must get one of these, okay? Or get two. I have 4, okay? So, and I've got that going. Now, I also have, I can just reach over and grab this. A lot of times what I do is I set it and park it right there. It's just water. And if it really gets hot, I just spray myself. Now, because I'm laying in bed, I'm not creating any energy. So I'm at my most rested point. And then your body just naturally cools down that way, don't you think? Yeah. It just naturally cools down. And then at some point, the heat sort of abates, and I fall asleep. I just fall asleep. Now, I do have a couple of apps that I put on. I have a nature app that I like. There's one particular one, it's like rain. I have that on. I've been listening to that for years. It'd be like weird not having it. And just recently, I would sometimes put an audiobook on. I put it real low. But lately I've been putting on real low. In YouVersion scripture, you can have it read to you. And there's a new timer on it too, so I put it on for like a couple hours. I'm asleep. When you're in a resting state, and as long as I have that fan hitting me, I mean, I just fall asleep. Yeah. That's how I do it. Having this fan going, it creates movement. It creates movement inside the van. I actually had somebody mention one time in a comment, it was kind of weird. It said, you mean, I'm going to say what you said. You mean, I'll say it the way it came across, with the innotation, yeah. You mean to tell me that you sleep in a hot van every night? I was like, yeah, I guess I do mean to tell you. Yeah, I do. It's just, I got the fan going, there's movement. When you live inside of here, it's totally different than if it's parked in a garage. I'm serious, because there's a human being, 120-pound human being who breathes and moves around in here, and then with this fan going. I will say, even in the winter, you go out into your garage in the middle of winter, and you go inside your van, it's freezing in there. But my van, because I'm a warm-blooded human being, my van isn't like that. I mean, there's some warmth going on in here. I'm adding warmth. Even if I'm under blankets, there's things in here. There's padding in here. Yeah. And even in the summer, I'm going to guess, because I've got, my curtains are down. These are blackout curtains. They're kind of thick. That I'm keeping a lot of the heat out. So living in here is totally different than you having your car, your vehicle, parked in your garage or in your driveway. It's a whole different thing going on. Yeah. And I know that you van dwellers, if you're watching, you know what I'm talking about. Having a living, breathing person in here, you know, this animal that's living in here who has blood flowing, you know, through her veins, and she's breathing out, breathing moisture into the air and everything. It's just a different environment. So that's my answer to your question. This, just breathing and my fan. Yeah, there you go. Okay, next. And I'm doing pretty good. I don't have to edit any of this. I'm doing pretty good with this. I haven't made any major mistakes. One time somebody corrected me, and that's fine, because I said something different. I said something that I didn't mean to say, but here's the clue. When you're filming and you're just talking, sometimes you say the wrong word. Like I may have meant to say I'm going east and I said, you know, I'm going west or something like that. It's just one of those mistakes that I made. Yeah, so, but I don't think I've made any. If I have, just know that I just don't want to edit this out. Okay, this is from Eric Ross. Question in the van life. How do you pick your place you stay for the night and not get hassled by cops when you sleep in your van? Okay. I got to talk about this because I'm just kidding. People are just sending me comments all over the place and sending me videos about, oh, all of a sudden now there's this new law that's against the law. Well, no. Okay, it's not. There are some van life channels on YouTube that are scaring the crap out of people. And I'm not overly happy with it. I mean, what can I do about it? I can only tell you what I'm doing and what I'm seeing and what I know. There are towns that have ordinances against sleeping in your vehicle. They're ordinances, I guess, so that would make them a law, okay? And every city has their own. And most cities have them. In fact, in Flagstaff, there is one. There's an ordinance that you are not allowed to sleep in your van, okay? I believe, here's my take on it, I believe that they're there for somebody who's just a no-do-gooder, that they can get rid of them. But believe me, they do not want to get rid of all the people who are nomads. We are bringing money into their community. And Flagstaff knows this. They're not out harassing and arresting people. Well, they're not harassing me. Okay? And when I'm in Tucson, they don't harass me there either. In fact, in Tucson, and I even believe in Flagstaff, I mean, they are, they're not harassing anybody. They're just, I mean, the parks that I stayed at, whoops, now I'm starting to make mistakes. I'm not going to edit this out. When I was in Tucson, in the park systems where I hung out, the police were not allowed to harass the homeless people. Oh, no. I mean, they were making compounds in parks and building compounds in ramadas. And they were told to not bother them. So I remember I asked a policeman one time, and I said, well, I have my car here during the day. Could I just keep, because there's a sign that says no parking after, I think, 11 o'clock, between 11 and a certain time. And I said, well, what if I just stayed here? And he goes, that's fine. Nobody's going to bother you. He goes, we're on stand now. We don't bother anybody. And he says, I wouldn't recommend it because the park can get, he said, the park can get pretty busy even in the wee hours. The homeless people, they kind of hang out during the day or during the night and move around a lot. He goes, I wouldn't recommend it though, because you never know, somebody come knock or smash your window or something like that. So yeah, no, I never stayed at the park all night long. I would park there during the day, but not at night. So seriously, I think it's just become crazy what's been going on with some of the channels, just scaring the crap out of people. I do not get harassed here. None of my friends are harassed. So what was your question again? What was it again? How do you get hassled from cops? I mean, I don't get hassled from cops. I really don't. Now, that doesn't mean if I'm parked in a place that they don't allow somebody to park at night, if that's private property, if that's a private parking lot, oh sure, you might get the knock. Oh, that sounds weird, doesn't it? That's scary. You might get the knock. And you have to get up and answer it, or they're going to maybe call a tow truck and tow you away while you're inside it. So you do want to answer it. And if they tell you to leave, they're not gonna arrest you. And here's what you can do is you don't pick a fight, for one. You don't, if you're looking, I always say, if you're looking for a fight, you'll find one. And you don't want to argue with them, but what you can do is you can catch more bees with honey, right? Is you just say, well, do you know of a place? You know, I have had a couple knocks in 8 years, and I said, ooh, you know, do I really have to go? That's what I would say, do I really have to go? Because I don't drive so well in the dark, and I don't know where I'm going. And in those cases, they did say, yeah, you got to go. I have to, you can't be here. Or they'd say I'd get in trouble. You know, they were security guards. Okay. So then you say, do you know of any place that I can go? And I'm not kidding. In both cases, they said, yeah, go down here, then go down there. And that's a pretty safe place, but you can't be here. That's all it takes. But if you're going to go, well, this is crap, you can't tell me what, yeah, you're gonna get resistance, yeah. So no, it's not like no, it's not happening. I'm sure that every once in a while it does, yeah. But I also suspect that every once in a while, some of them are picking fights, and they're getting harassed. So I have heard stories, though. I'm not going to just discount everything. I don't want to be that way. But I am going to say that, yeah, I have heard of some people like, the ones that I've heard that get harassed the most, that I've heard stories from, are young guys. Because the cops are concerned, like, what are you doing here? You know, you're young. Are you going to cause, But I don't know. Yeah, I'm no expert at this, but I do know what I know, and I know what my friends are telling me. And not one of them, not one, has been harassed. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to park in a place that they don't want you, you'll get the knock, and they'll ask you to leave. They're not going to arrest you, I mean, okay, now, if you park in a really upscale neighborhood, upscale, you very well could get it. Because what they do, if it's very upscale, they'll call, and it's called the welfare check. Well, I'm concerned. And so the cops will come and ask you, are you okay? Well, they might say, well, to placate the neighborhood. They'll say, well, there is an ordinance. You can't really sleep in the neighborhoods. Just ask them where you can sleep, and then go, and just don't go back the next day. Please don't go back to that neighborhood. I always suggest mid, not dangerous neighborhoods, but mid, maybe low mid neighborhoods. Yeah. I mean, I know when I'm in Tucson, I know where I can park. I mean, I lived there for 40 years. I know the neighborhoods I can park in. In Flagstaff, I've been here long enough that I know what neighborhood I can park in, that nobody ever bothers me. I know how to maneuver it. At the end, I'm going to leave a couple of videos about where to park. Okay? There you go. And as far as the heat, I'll leave one for parking and I'll leave one for staying cool, okay? Okay, I think we're done. I'm not going to edit this. There'll be no song. You want me to sing a song for you? No, I won't. Okay, so please subscribe and please share these videos. It really gets them out there, okay? I like to put out positive videos. I'm the no drama zone here, okay? I believe that with what is going on out there, we all need to have a good safe place where we can find things that are positive, not scary things. I'm not into scaring anybody, and I'm not into fear-mongering. And yeah, I want to put out really good positive videos, because this is, what we hold in our head, we hold in our hand. And if we're going to fear-monger, or we're going to be scaring people, I mean, they do get a lot of good clicks. They're making good money. These people that are putting out these negative videos, oh, they're making cash. They're making the coin. And some of mine, because I've really gone the positive, some of them make maybe $20, whereas the other ones are making like 100 and 150 per video, and I make like 20. The only way that these are gonna, help is if you can share them, and then it gets them out there, because YouTube isn't gonna do it for me, right? Okay, so I am going to be traveling a couple days, and then you'll see where I'm at, okay? I love you guys. Leave a comment for me. That always does help me too. And look up my books if you want to support me, okay? Go to Amazon and type in Minivan Lee books and buy a book. I mean, then it's a win-win. It's not like you got to give me something for nothing. No, I got a book for you. I've got all kinds of books. So buy a book, okay? Buy a book. And then you got something to read. And reading an actual book is pretty cool, don't you think? It really is. You can just sit and hold it. Or you can get the ebook and you can read it if you're at home, read it on your iPad, or on your phone if you're a traveler. Okay? I love you guys. Mwah. Love you. See you in a new location next, okay? Okay.